Welcome and thank you for joining me. I'm Jerry Oginski, a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. Today's video tip is about a woman that I was able to help who was struck by a Mack truck while crossing the street in Manhattan. So one of the first things that I did was I went with her. I met her at the intersection, and there are two reasons why a personal injury accident attorney is going to go to the actual scene of the accident to learn more. Why? Because I get to visualize through my client's eyes exactly what happened and when. In addition, I also go to take pictures because it's important for me to preserve how the scene looked at the time. In addition, it helps when I submit the photographs to the claims examiner or even to the defense attorney to help them visualize how the accident occurred. So why did she need my help? She needed my help because after being knocked to the ground by this huge Mack truck, she was knocked unconscious and taken by ambulance to a trauma center here in Manhattan. And it turned out that she had not only lacerations to her head, the front and her back, she had a small bleed in her brain. Her entire left wrist was fractured. My client had to have surgery to fix the broken bones in her arm. And the doctors use fancy terms for that particular surgery, and that's known as an open reduction internal fixation. And in her case, she also needed external fixation. What does all that mean? It means they had to open up the wrist surgically, put the bones back together, use hardware, titanium and steel plates to hold the bones together, and then that wasn't enough. They had to also include an external device that's going to hold the bone and the metal plate in place until the bone heals. So when they actually finished the surgery, they closed up the skin, but she had metal rods sticking up out of her arm, so that if you took the bandages off on the outside of her arm, it looked like a robot with metal bars and steel rods coming out of her arm. So how is it that I was able to help her? Well, I was able to help her by documenting not just how the accident occurred, but by showing to the claims examiner and to the defense attorneys that this truck, who was making a left-hand turn from First Avenue onto 23rd Street, should have seen all of the signs that were up there. And what were the signs? It clearly says, "Yield to pedestrian." She was walking in the crosswalk with a green light at the time, so there was nothing that she did that contributed to this accident. My goal in representing this woman was to document all of her injuries, because it was very important to show the extent of her damage, not only physically and the scarring that she suffered, but also what further treatment she needed along the course of the litigation. And the case proceeded all the way up to jury selection, until the day before jury selection, when I had a very brutally honest conversation with the defense attorney. And we were able to reach a successful resolution of the case and settling it out of court before going into jury selection the following day. So why do I tell you all this? I tell you this because if you find yourself in a similar position where you have been involved in a particular accident and now you need help because the insurance company is refusing to pay for your medical bills, they're refusing to pay for any suffering that you experienced, or even compensate you for the time that you're out of work, then I urge you to pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at lawmed10@yahoo.com. I want to thank you for joining me. I'm Jerry Oginski. Have a great day.